Hi, this is Daniel Hutchins, and today we're going to do another article from Screen Rant. Today's article from Screen Rant, we're going to be talking about Electro. So, Electro in Spider-Man 3 is good news for Fox's mutants in the MCU. Now, Jamie Foxx's Electro officially joining the MCU's Spider-Man 3 may potentially pave the way for some of Fox's X-Men to make similar returns. Now, this is also hot off the truck. This was a day ago. So here we go. Jamie Foxx's Electro being confirmed for Spider-Man 3 could pave the way for members of Fox's X-Men to make similar returns in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, predating Marvel Studios' output by nearly a decade. The first X-Men movie was released back in 2000 and went on to spawn 13 interconnected installments. Unfortunately, the saga experienced diminishing returns and ultimately concluded with a whimper via X-Men Dark Phoenix. Though many hoped that the New Mutants could breathe new life into a wider franchise, but the results proved just underwhelming. After Disney officially acquired Fox, debates raged on how the MCU could incorporate mutants. Such discussions have only intensified in the wake of the aforementioned installments. Now, the common expectation was that Marvel Studios would start fresh and reboot all the characters. Fox's return, however, could set up an entirely different options altogether. Now, with the actor made his debut as Max Dillon, aka Electro, in the equally underwhelming Amazing Spider-Man 2, despite the film's lack of critical and commercial success. Now, Kevin Feige was a fan of Fox's villainous portrayal. As such, the decision to let Fox reprise the role made sense and proved surprising in equal measure. It remains unclear whether he will be the very same Electro from that film's universe, or be a doppelganger, in the vein of a similarly returned J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons. Given that Electro will have a different look, it will likely be the later, but whatever the case, though, it bodes well for the X-Men to be utilized in an identical fashion. Alright. Related to this article, who is Electro? Jamie Foxx's MCU Spider-Man 3 villain explained. But we're not here talking about that, we're talking about something else. So here we go. Despite the view of the X-Men franchise as a whole, there have been countless positives for every misstep. There was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, there was Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, there was X-Men, Days of Future Past, the list can go on and on and on and on and on. And Feige can essentially take his pick of that proverbial toy chest. Furthermore, he can do so without having to make the previous film events canonical to the official MCU timeline. If there were any characters that Feige liked from the X-Men, he can create an MCU counterpart. And if Feige felt like those characters were underserved in the previous franchise, they could be given the requisite upgrades to be turned into quintessential versions. That looks set to be the intent for Electro, and could make a good approach to take with such overshadowed X-Men characters as Cyclops, Storm, Bishop, and Kitty Pryde. Then again, with WandaVision set to kickstart Marvel's foray in the multiverse, the MCU could bring some characters directly from the original universe. There were already rumors that Evan Peters could reprise his Quicksilver role, the idea which has now been given more credence. While Electro will likely be a new counterpart, the MCU already had a version of Quicksilver in that vein. Played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, Pietro Maximoff was tragically killed during Avengers Age of Ultron. As a result, Peter's Quicksilver would need the crossover directly from the established universe of the X-Men movies, and if Quicksilver can make the trip, there is nothing to stop others from doing the same down the line. Feige has also given the MCU a certain amount of leeway as well. For every J. Jonah Jameson and Electro, there is a Flash Thompson and an Aunt May. In the MCU, both were played by vastly different actors from those in Amazing Spider-Man and before that with Sam Raimi's original trilogy. Therefore, If there's a particular X-Men performance that didn't truly resonate, it could recast. The same goes for if the original actor didn't want to reprise the role. Therefore, in essence, Feige has maneuvered Phase 4 into a pretty exciting position. He has given himself several options for furthering the quintessential Marvel Universe. The films and shows could add X-Men characters and tell or reiterate their stories in either honorific ways, in completely fresh ways, or potentially in wholly unique blend of new and familiar ways, and they could do so on a case-by-case basis. Only time will tell what direction the MCU will ultimately go, and however in the lead-up to the Spider-Man 3 and beyond. So there you go, guys. That's just a little bit of information I want to share. So if you love this content, make sure you hit a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And you guys have a nice day then. Bye.